never slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be.
Sorry, don't mind my face. I'm literally going like unfiltered, no freaking makeup. It is hot as freaking heck. I've got my freaking hair down. I literally just finished running errands. I literally had to go on an adventure to my freaking pharmacy to go pick up my prescriptions because I was freaking like out of like everything and running low. So I went on like a full-on freaking adventure and it was honestly not bad whatsoever. Like I really wasn't like too freaking upset about it whatsoever. Like I literally was like, you know, I was like thinking about it yesterday and I was like, you know what, if I place a prescription over the weekend, they'll get it over to the pharmacy team and then I can literally go pick it up on like Monday. Well, I'm in the midst of having a freaking free day. My freaking work week is just completely just dead. I was in like all freaking, I would say last week and like maybe like the week before-ish kind of, and it was just all freaking busy. Actually no, last week I had to run errands all freaking week, and then the week before that I was like in all freaking week. And then the freaking work shifts just went completely dead. And then I'm doing part-time too, you guys, so whenever it's like a full week, I'm like, this is gonna be freaking great. At least there's gonna be like some funds coming in. When it's freaking just completely dead like this, so I'm like, oh gosh, what in the freaking heck? And then you guys, as you guys know, I'm not teaching anymore after the entire debacle with the breach of contract that happened a few freaking months ago. Currently working on a case with that, so I'll keep you guys updated and posted on that. I've literally got to forward over some documents to the freaking like judge a tad later-ish and finish off everything before heading into the actual process within the next few weeks. But I wanted to touch base on the new project that has been taking place in Chicago over the past few months, the Project New Dawn initiative, because it was just something that I was like, I'm loving it. It's literally great. It was like a crackdown on crime that literally was just freaking extremely hands-on, very covert. A bunch of freaking government agencies came together, federal agencies, and like they called it, I believe, an unbadged freaking attack on freaking crime, and it was amazing. I'm gonna like read through my notes section that I broke down for you guys. So after reading through the article and seeing all the updates on it, I was like, well, what's going on? Because I got an initial update that there was like a major freaking crime crackdown. Then I got another update that was like there was a major crime crackdown with like close to the same numbers in the headlines. So I was like, let's see if they're like the same thing, and they were. So I ended up reading up about it, and I was like, you know, let me share this one with you guys. As you guys know, I try to bring like saucy stories, a touch base on topics that pertain towards law and criminal justice, which were my major studies, my freaking legal aid business also. So if you like pop on my website, you can always, you know, see some of our new content. This one may be featured on there soon. If you're watching it now because you found it featured on the site, you see what I mean by I literally love to share it there so you guys can see the updates going on, the laws and regulations that go into effect to cover a bunch of these aspects, and the major agencies that work to cover major things that you always wonder, you know, is anybody actually managing this? Is anybody actually caring? You know, there are agencies that actually get the damn job done. So, Operation New Dawn was a 60-day federal, and you guys, I'm like literally looking over at my notes on the side over there. If you guys ever catch me like looking over, if I don't have my phone like right in front of me where I can just kind of like have it hidden a tad bit while I'm like looking over, and then I have to like look down in the midst of it because I don't like have it like propped up with my freaking mirror in the background as like a little like teleprompter slot. So I'm looking over a tad bit. I've got my camera from the video that I shot yesterday, which was the freaking like spirit summoning ceremony shot. But yeah, I'm gonna be looking over a tad bit. I brought it like a tad closer so it's not too far over. So, Operation New Dawn was a 60-day federal anti-violence initiative in the Chicago and Rockford areas, and it concluded this month, July 2026. The New Dawn Project was a sweeping 60-day federal anti-violence initiative targeting repeat violent offenders, drug traffickers, and human trafficking networks in the Chicago and Rockford areas. So, targeting those major aspects that everybody worries about. all throughout the freaking nation that are very prevalent in major cities such as Chicago. We have like over 5 million citizens that live within the city. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of freaking drug stuff going on. As you guys know, I touched base in the Red Line video where I told you guys, you know, they're constantly selling drugs on the Red Line train. I was traveling to the pharmacy today and I haven't done like the Red Line from the 95th station in a decent bit because there are so many freaking, you know, drug dealers from that area up to the freaking 35th and Sox Stadium area. So it was interesting to see them all, like, you know, popping onto the train, and they were there for like a decent bit. I got off at the Garfield station and went over to the pharmacy area, and then on my train ride back there were just like drug dealers just all throughout the freaking train. And there were no freaking, you know, sheriffs or sheriffs, marshals, federal agents or freaking cops in general on the train. So these people were just like, you know, running through the train. It was like literally one after another too, trying to sell drugs to people, like the same car over and over again. And then they were like intersecting with each other too, and I was like, how did you not just run into the other freaking person trying to sell drugs in the other train car while coming over into this train car when they literally just exited? Just gets weird and ridiculous. But these are the things that they're working on cracking down on. Child trafficking was a major thing, and in this portion it's going to cover an aspect where they recovered a lot of children, were able to reunite them with their families. Let's see, human trafficking, so people, you know, abducting literal like people and, you know, trafficking them, moving them, using them to freaking, you know, make money as prostitutes, you know, selling them to people to marry them off and stuff. It's like, you know, a bunch of old, outdated stuff that's like currently going on that we work to have regulated, because it's like, let that stuff die out in the past where it was like psychotic crap that we were all reading about, like why the hell was it that bad? And then when it's going on in the modern day and age, we're literally like, please somebody just handle that so we can deal with the freaking daily BS of our regular lives, as opposed to all of the freaking craziness that's been going on outside of that. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Illinois in the early summer of 2026 started the operation. The operation resulted in 179 defendants being charged across 140 cases. And that's just a little tidbit of numbers. There were actually a lot more people arrested. Those are just the people that have been charged in the 140 cases so far. There is still a lot to be processed moving forward. But that was the update given as the project concluded. For the focus on violent crimes, the sweep targeted individuals involved in serious federal offenses, including kidnapping, homicide, firearms trafficking, robbery, fentanyl distribution, and child exploitation. Federal officials said 179 people were charged, 305 were arrested. That's what I mean by that bigger number. And 24 missing children were recovered during Operation New Dawn in the Chicago area. And you guys, that is just, for a bunch of those numbers, they're like, you know, hitting exactly where they need to hit for that crackdown rate. The investigations that went into this, tying everything together, bringing in the freaking major groups, and freaking, you know, working to not only use this information to gain access to who else might have been involved in these situations and to really crack down on all of this, but to also have it all brought together was great for a lot of factors. For the children, it's sad to know that the numbers, although it's great that 24 missing children were, you know, recovered and able to be returned to their families, we all know that's still a very low number as opposed to how many children have probably been freaking taken from their homes, taken at playgrounds, from schools, tricked into freaking following random strangers, family members, into these child exploitation rings and trafficking rings, and that are now lost throughout the freaking nation or the world. It's just, it's crazy in itself, you guys. So always be mindful and just think to yourself, just, no, honestly, just think to yourself, if they can get the job done, we can support them, because it gets this freaking bad without the support of the people. The roughly 60-day operation included 11 federal agencies targeting violent crimes. Authorities described the special operation as the first badgeless operation of its kind in the area. The news was announced in a press release for the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Illinois on July 2nd. Oh my gosh, I said July. On July 2nd. According to federal prosecutors, Operation New Dawn brought together 11 federal law enforcement agencies to target individuals suspected of offenses including robbery, kidnapping, murder, fentanyl trafficking, drug trafficking, child exploitation, and other crimes. The U.S. Attorney's Office noted that the charges are allegations and that all defendants are presumed innocent until proven guilty in court. So, although they were able to bring in a lot of people that were connected to these crimes, they're still giving people the benefit of the doubt to go through the trial process and to prove that they were guilty and give them, that benefit of the doubt that you were innocent until proven guilty as per our justice system. Officials said the operation included the FBI, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, the ATF, the Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, and others. The operation, which began around May 1st, was described by officials as the first badgeless initiative of its kind in the Northern District of Illinois. This meant that multiple federal agencies came together under the banner of the United States flag as opposed to the shield of any agency. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, the success of Operation New Dawn reflects the leadership of the U.S. Attorney's Office and the trust, commitment, and collaboration among our Chicago federal law enforcement partners, said Christopher Ammon, special agent in charge of the ATF Chicago Field Division. So, as you guys know, I always want you guys to do a tad more research. If you guys like the topic, let me know if you guys want me to bring you guys any more details on this. But if not, that's a major gist of the Operation New Dawn breakdown. And let's just give it up for our freaking badgeless enforcement team that literally worked to crack down on major crimes that were taking place within the city throughout the freaking area, and let's hope that they can crack down more and all over the place to literally bring some order and stability throughout the freaking nation, because between the job scams out there, the trafficking taking place, both drugs, sexual exploitation, human trafficking, child trafficking, and so many other aspects. These things have to be managed. It's a part of our day-to-day lives as a nation to make sure that these things are kept within line so that it doesn't freaking affect the daily lives of everybody throughout the nation, and so that it's, the hope is that one day it will be an eliminated factor from society so that we can move beyond past that and just live our daily lives as, simple citizens that live life, work, interact with each other, and just live our lives to the fullest without the threat of danger. But we've always got to work towards that point. So as we work towards that point in the future, continue to be mindful, continue to be cheerful, and continue to be awesome and live your best life. Be mindful. Always carry security alarms, emergency whistles. If you have pepper spray, great. If you have pocket knives, an emergency set, great also. If you carry a registered firearm, be mindful to not literally go pew 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 everywhere, but that is also a great factor for your safety. And always be mindful to regulate who you trust with your children, you guys. And never be afraid to teach them the aspects of stranger danger at an early age, okay? I love you guys so much, and I'll talk to you later.